Journey to Mixxtopia. The debut album of Nmixx, which is called Nmixx, where the lore of Mixxtopia started. They say Mixxtopia is the land where their dreams come true. The girls came together as one and created a plan to go on an adventure to find Mixxtopia after having a vision of a place where everything is possible, including delectable donuts, colorful jellyfish, other sea animals swimming in the sky, flowers blooming everywhere, and limited freedom. This theory will be focused on expergo. The donut store we came across in O, which has since undergone renovations and been called Sweet Oasis, is a mystery cafe where they serve green candy, the flavor of which will give you the most joy if you stick to just one menu. Due to the glowing reviews of the green candy from each and every one of the cafe's customers, Sweet Oasis is becoming increasingly well known. As you eat it, you will feel as though you are becoming perfect, and it will also offer you a sweet taste that will reduce your inner anxiety. Nmixx became suspicious of Sweet Oasis and concluded that it was not an ordinary shop and that something was wrong inside the shop. As a result, Nmixx launched an undercover investigation in which they disguised as customers and visited a cafe. They have gathered several pieces of evidence that prove Sweet Oasis intended to harm the diversity of people. They named the antagonist Monopole, the store clerk who is the owner's follower. In what way does the monopole connect to unknown N? As this has to do with the magnetic field of the Earth, a magnetic monopole would have a net north or south magnetic charge, and we'll assume that is the N North Pole. It can also be related to a monopoly, which is known as a monopole in French. We know that a monopoly is a market structure in which a single seller or producer assumes a dominant position in an industry or area. Similar to the monopole in Nmixx lore, we only see one shop owner, so we assume that this owner dominates the area. As a monopolist, you have complete control over the supply of the commodity, which means that monopole have the control and power to prevent Nmixx from achieving Mixxtopia. As a result, Nmixx must overcome and face them head-on to not succeed the monopole. It was also proven that monopole is the mastermind behind a scheme to intensify Nmixx's inner fear and eradicate Nswer's variety, or, to put it another way, monopole is the reason behind all of Nmixx's struggles to achieve Mixxtopia. Nmixx discovered that Dolphin Nusser had once more been caught by the monopole. After they had discovered all the clues, Nmixx came up with a strategy to once again protect Nusser from the antagonist. The green stain acted as a poison that affected the diversity of the Nusser. What are they talking about then? Actually, one of the Nmixx meanings in Nmixx is the diversity. Nmixx stand for a variety of things, including their song genre, Mixxpop, their lore, and themselves or their identity. For instances, Monopole aims to eliminate diversity because it wants to sever our ties with Nmixx by making us lose interest in their music and unloving of their genre. However, Nmixx constantly strive to awaken and demonstrate to us their diversity, creativity, and uniqueness because loving Nmixx is loving Nmixx identity. The concept film Dizziness of Freedom. This shows how the members of Nmixx are in real life. Life presents challenges to all of them, causing internal struggle. They are going through an existential crisis, which makes them think that existence has no purpose and that life has no fundamental significance. This causes them to feel lost and confused about who they are as people. They experienced an existential crisis during periods of change, which is an indication of their difficulties adjusting to new situations when faced with challenges, hardships, and the loss of safety and security. Existentialism emphasizes that we are all free to make choices in life, and with that freedom comes responsibility, which can cause anxiety. Existentialism maintains that we feel angst or anxiety since there is no correct course to take or manual to instruct us on how to behave. Since they are all dealing with anxiety, they can understand and relate to one another. As a result, they created out with the same goal in mind, to travel to Mixxtopia, which they believed would help them continue their journey as human beings. This means that each of us must find a way to live with this anxiety rather than get rid of it, since fear can be overcome by courage, and since anxiety aspires to become fear. This is where the concept film, courage, wisdom, and love comes in. It explains that having wisdom is being aware of lies and false minds, and through that they found love that made their imagination into reality and grew their courage to move forward. These three are emotions that they recognize and are a part of unknown N and called impetus. Impetus is the driving force behind it. Motion refers to both Newton's third law of motion and physics, where N is the unit of force. This is related to the idea that we should endeavor to determine recognize the feelings what sparked them as stated in New Frontier, impetus. If we can do that, we'll be better equipped to alter our emotions and proceed in potentially better directions, emotion. The Nmixx antidote is courage. In spite of the fact that life will surely end, it may appear to have no purpose, and Nmixx is destined to bear heavy loads of responsibility for not being perfect or acceptable in their own eyes. Courage is the strength to confirm one's own existence. Courage accepts this fear by identifying it and asserting oneself in spite of the fear of non-existence, meaninglessness, and shame. Courage does not make this fear go away. As vitality determines the courage to be, increased vitality brings forth the force to be and enables one to create beyond oneself without losing oneself. The awareness that we are what we are, and that our fate is in our own hands, will help people embrace who they are.
Concept Photo 4, at-risk Super Mixxtopia overall. Key features: Moon, Rainbow. This concept photo employs elements to represent Mixxtopia.
We can see the lunar mare, which are large, dark, basaltic plains on Earth's moon. It can be related to Neil Armstrong landing in the moon's Mare Tranquillitatis, also known as the Sea of Tranquility. It's the first location on another world to be visited by humans, and the word tranquility means tranquillite in the Old French word meaning peace or happiness, which describes the Mixxtopia. Rainbow over the rainbow, attempting to achieve an impossible goal in an unknown, hypothetical, or extremely distant location, similar to Mixxtopia.